I started with Odoo as an ERP system 10 years ago,
Whoa.
version 6.1.
Whoa.
What I really like about Odoo is the open source-ness. So with the other ERP systems, I had quite a bit of struggle if I want to have a new feature, for example. So I had to call external companies and they don't give out the source code. They say, okay, we want a lot of money from you and we don't give you any code and we don't give you any information to learn how to do this yourself. This is what I really like about Odoo. So I can just see all the code. Everything is very open. Everyone is very open. And there's lots of portals to learn from.
I have to admit, it's one of the strengths of Odoo to be able to have the courage to break things. I cry each time.
The extendability, it's very easy to set up an additional add-on to change a little thing or even something big. That's quite powerful.
The framework is Python and JavaScript that I think for developers it's really easy to get into it and know each other. Python has a really good learning curve to start developing.
We also see that the evolution of every version is getting faster and better. Between 15 and 16, the speed optimizations of the Odoo system was really nice. So a lot of customers asked immediately after the release for a migration.
The last changes in the last versions of Odoo, the way the ORM works in memory until the last moment where it needs to commit things to database, that's super nice, and that was a huge performance gain.
With special regards to the Odoo Community Association, it's a fast learning environment because the Odoo framework, it's probably the most brilliant framework to do business applications in the world. And there is a reason why it is so famous and so successful.
I've been using Odoo for 12 years now, and it's a developer's dream because there's a lot of things that you don't even have to think about. Updating your database schema, you don't have to think about it. Updating your views, you don't have to think about it. Putting new fields in the form views, well, you just have to inherit things and then Odoo will manage all the complexity of that for you.
I like developing in Odoo. There's a lot of pieces to it that are they're very straightforward. I think everybody can agree that if you just avoid the JavaScript, everything's fine, right? That's the typical kind of advice, right? JavaScript takes more time, and I think it's getting more stable, but that would be the rough edge, right? Yeah.
It's very permissive and very high level, in a sense that when you want to add, for example, a field in a view, let's forget Odoo Studio, of course, I know they can do that, but let's forget it just for a second. If you write it entirely with the code, it will take maybe 2 minutes to do it. If you have to do it in an entirely custom app, you have to design the field. You have maybe, if you want to add the button, you have to design the button, choose his color, his placement, if it's on the left, on the right, choose the action it's going to make. In Odoo, you just place the button because it's already existing. Everything is easy to add to the existing views or models, anything like that. So it's way faster to implement new things in an Odoo environment than it is in a custom environment, for example.
I would say the small ones are the best ones. So if you say, okay, you have only one feature, and then stay with it and only implement this one feature and that's it. And then I think these are the best ones because then you can migrate them or you can get rid of them.
That's the answer of someone with a lot of experience. Huh?
As we are an online advertising company, we have a lot of customers that are shops themselves. So you have a lot of shops as customers. So we had to do the whole management of shops completely from scratch. And we wanted to switch from our old system that was still on Python 2. And then there was like, do we do a complete rewrite or do we use some kind of framework or something? And that is where Odoo came in.
So the fact that it was in Python was an argument.
Yes. And we're using Postgres anyways, so that it's Python and Postgres, and
you are old friends coming back.
I'm currently involved in a very large project where we integrate Odoo to manage car and truck repairs agencies. So it should be something like 150 agencies in France. There's a lot of customizations of the workflows, and a huge development will be interfacing with EDI to receive dispatchment advices, to send purchase orders, to check the stock availability on the vendor's side. Then there will be also a huge customization for the flows inside the agencies, because obviously you have people who are mechanics, they need to fix cars and trucks, they need very specific user interfaces to be able to work on that.
It was to manage an auction business. When there is an auction, there are multiple persons involved in the actual sale of the product. We developed a whole new module specific for the auction house part that, of course, integrated with the other existing Odoo modules, so the accounting, the stock, because they manage the stock and the storage of all the pieces of art. I think that in this special case, Odoo was a very good choice to make, because at that time you also sometimes develop entirely custom, so with another technology than Odoo. But it didn't make sense to do that because there was already the accounting part, the stock part. It was already working, so we
were just missing a small part, actually.
Yes.
The OCA is the Odoo Community Association. It's the community of integrators, users, Odoo enthusiasts all around the world.
The community is very open. You help each other, safe playground to learn.
Our team is actually contributing, preparing our modules partly in that way, if it's not, of course, company-specific things. But if we can generalize things, then we, of course, want to program in a way to open it for the community.
I contributed for translations. This is really easy to do and everybody can do. Sure. And it's really appreciated because a lot of localizations, a lot of countries, so this is important. And then also I contributed a lot to the OCA, to the Odoo Community Association, and there for the Spanish localization, for the modules for there, or for some repositories like, I don't know, stock or accounting or
Accounting, good module to contribute on. I work in accounting.
We have a contribution team. So in the OCA we are contributing, and also we have some developers. They are directly contributing to the Odoo, the core modules.